I think it represents a huge opportunity. The challenge will always be the fact that a number of women's teams are actually, a number of actual football clubs are sponsored by betting partners already, and women's isn't carved out as a separate sponsorship model for betting. So that's the issue that which will come up a lot. But however, I think that maybe if clubs are looking at a complete separate women's football strategy, whereby you can actually have a betting partner for the women's game, it might make a lot of sense, because I think that brands need to, particularly in the betting space, have a strategy looking at women's football, but it's how you activate it as well. I mean, you're talking to a different type of demographics as well. So you're talking to a very strong female demographic, family-orientated demographic. So there's those challenges. But I definitely think, just looking at the markets as well, just the growth of women's football, that there's a huge opportunity for betting brands to become part of it. But the challenge will always be that a number of clubs will have betting partners, and they won't maybe want to carve out a betting deal for women's football. But saying that, where you have clubs that have multiple non-exclusive betting partners, then there's an opportunity to carve out a women's football betting partner. And I think the opportunity is huge, because the game is only growing one way. It's going up and up and up. And it's a huge opportunity for the betting industry. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's an emerging, growing market. Yes, 100%, definitely reach a new audience. If you just look at historically within the betting industry, if you're looking at how they target women, I think it's mainly around the bingo side of things, and looking at the data they have there, and the smart gambling operators. If you did get into women's football, it would be a case of looking at the data that you have on your female audiences in the bingo side of things, and how do you cross synergize that with to sportsbook essentially, but tailoring it into the women's sport. And then you would actually look at how you develop further different audiences. But what you'll also find is that it won't just be women that you're targeting, there will be a male segment, because I think there's about 40 or 50%. It's a pretty interesting split between female and males that actually watch the game. So you'll find that guys will actually bet on this as well. So it's a new emerging market really. And as the game becomes more and more popular, we're seeing the brands that we've worked with again having huge exposure. Just the fact that games have been playing, for example, at this coming next couple of weekends at the West Ham versus Tottenham at the Olympic Stadium. So that's going to be a huge opportunity there for one of our brands in particular. And then you've seen just recently Chelsea, that they played at Stamford Bridge, and they had about, I think it's like 25,000 people turn up. Manchester United versus Man City, over 33,000. So there's a huge opportunity there for the women's game, and betting partners could really benefit from it. The game is just on a huge growth curve, so I think new sectors, even existing sectors. So I think if you look at, as I alluded to previously, if you look at the soft games, the soft gaming, sector, such as bingo and stuff like that. I mean, aligning your brand with with a women's football team, it makes a lot of sense, because that's your target market already. So you're actually targeting that demographic. But new opportunities. I mean, there's going to be a huge amount of new opportunities, because the game's on a growth curve. So you're going to have new markets. You're going to have domestic markets, international markets. There's going to be products whereby it might be live streaming, for example, bet and watch for women's games. The opportunity is just there. It's just it's huge, and there's multiple opportunities that are available for betting brands in this space. I think the sky's the limit really, but it's just working with people that understand the game, understand where the game is growing, and just looking at strategies whereby you are actually working with the club on a long-term basis. So not applying the basis of sometimes in a men's game you've seen deals whereby a betting company might be a sponsor for 2 years, or a year and a half, or whatever it is. In the women's game, I think you really got the opportunity to be part of the growth and have a long-term partnership that will you reap the benefit of new audiences and new opportunities for betting and gaming, done in a responsible way as well. And I think if you look at responsible gaming and you look at women's football, it's got a different connotation from the men's. So you start off with being responsible because you've got a different mindset. I think that brands we've spoken to in the betting space is like their challenge is like how do they engage with women's football? And we're consulting a number of the brands in this space and just saying it's a fresh, complete fresh look. But the good thing about it is the industry is becoming more focused on responsible gaming, and women's football is this new, fresh landscape whereby you can go in and really apply that your responsible gaming in these environments essentially.